Good evening, and tonight it's an FA Cup special, but more than that, we have on offer one of the most dramatic cup ties for years, and one that provoked a good deal of argument afterwards about its winner. So our lineup is Manchester United against Everton, in front of the biggest crowd of the season, over 58,000 at Old Trafford.
Stapleton, McQueen, Whiteside. Well, that was a sensational save from Jim Arnold.
And Brighton against Norwich, with the biggest crowd of the season at the Goldstone ground.
Stevens crossing, and Foster! Oh, what a brilliant stop!
Vladimir Petrovic produces the smiles and a standing ovation for Arsenal at Highbury. A Burnley penalty miss gives Sheffield Wednesday another chance, and in the league there's a hat-trick for Watford's Luther Blissett.
But first, let's join that mighty crowd at Old Trafford. Manchester United going into the match as cup favourites, already assured of a place at Wembley in the Milk Cup final. Now against an Everton side seeking to get back towards some of their old glories. So stand by for a very special cup tie covered by Granada Television with our commentator there, Martin Tyler.
Discretion has finally prevailed for Kevin Moran. The shin pads that Manchester United's valiant defender has been so reluctant to wear are now to be tolerated to avoid any repeat of the gaping wound he suffered 2 weeks ago. Moran is back alongside Gordon McQueen, for whom a booking this afternoon would mean McQueen's automatic suspension from the Milk Cup final. Arthur Orbiston, Steve Coppell and substitute Lou Macari were all in United's last FA Cup winning side 6 years ago, while Frank Stapleton collected a winner's medal for Arsenal against United in 1979. Everton are fortunate that the loss of Andy King has coincided with Steve McMahon's return to fitness. But Alan Irvin's call-up came only this morning. He replaces David Johnson, whose neck injury Everton have been trying to keep a secret all week. The late change means a switch for Adrian Heath back up front to partner Graham Sharp. Irvin will take his customary wide role, and there's a place on the bench for Alan Ainscough, who's not played in the first team for 6 months. Referee Joe Worrell comes appropriately from a midpoint between Manchester and Merseyside from Warrington. Everton then kick off. They've knocked out the holders, Tottenham Hotspur, in the 5th round, and here they take on the current favourites. Manchester United defending the Stretford end in the first half. The pitch a little on the dry side, remarkable for Manchester that it was watered this morning to try and give the players something of a stud hold. Kevin Sheedy. Played forward by McMahon. Moran's first clash in the air with Graham Sharp. And perhaps a nerve or two showing through Mike Duxbury, playing the ball over the line. Sharp was jumping, and Gary Bailey can claim. Gary Bailey opting to throw. He still has a problem to his right thigh, which restricts his kicking. Muren finding space in what may well be a congested midfield. Stapleton looks for Muren again. The right side is off on a run. Moran. Contact was made with chest, and by the foot of Wilkins. Coppell playing the 1-2 with Wilkins that John Bailey was alive to. This time United have got Whiteside on the near post, Stapleton coming in behind him. Moses is there as well. This is Wilkins. Stevens gave him no room to shoot. And Moran takes a blow in the face. Came from Adrian Heath. And immediately Ray Wilkins is waving the trainer Jim McGregor on, the referee responding as well. It was only a fortnight ago that Moran was stretchered off here against Liverpool. Here he jumped, and it was Adrian Heath who caught Moran in the face. He's clearly shaken. Sharp winning a header against McQueen. Came off the arm of Richardson. The referee saw nothing wrong, and this is Irvine. Still Irvine. Possibilities for Everton. And Heath missed the first opening of this game. The talents of Irvine here for all to see, and a warning for United. An orthodox wing player, and he looked up and picked out Heath, who side-footed it wide. Heath and Sharp in a race with Gary Bailey, who had to clear from just outside the area. Koppel. Moses with time to look. Ratcliffe, though, reacted. McQueen. Moses' first problem was to get the ball past the referee. He collects Koppel's pass. Good covering by Gary Stevens. But then he took too long. Stapleton finding Whiteside. Muren on his strong left foot. Some technique to keep the volley on target. Gary Stevens had initially done well, but then dwelt on the ball, and Muren let fly as Whiteside's header dropped for him on the volley. There's Sheedy, arguably the best passer of the ball in the Everton side, and he almost played Sharp in. In the end, the bounce on the ball just allowed the defender to get there first. Sharp was waiting for it to drop, but there was incision in the work of Sheedy that's led to this corner, which Sheedy will take himself. McMahon. Back from Richardson. A touch from Sharp. And Bailey couldn't hold the shot from Heath. Greater penetration at the moment comes from Everton. Richardson with the first header. Again, an intelligent one there from Sharp. Heath's shot was deflected, which favoured Bailey. Sharp. Collected, though, by Wilkins for United. Away goes Whiteside. Higgins turns from him. Rather fortuitously picked out Sheedy. Sharp couldn't control. And Heath chasing a mistake by Albiston. And the prize of a place in the FA Cup semi-final. Bringing real commitment here. Koppel. First genuine save that Arnold's had to make. Koppel went flying after he twisted into the shot. McQueen. Here's Koppel again. Ratcliffe, straight to Wilkins. It's the side of the netting. To the relief of Ratcliffe. Wilkins hasn't scored a first-team goal in a home match for almost 3 years. He found a chance coming his way here through this error by Ratcliffe, who headed it straight to Wilkins. But to Ratcliffe's credit, he did enough, bringing himself across to force Wilkins into a hurried shot. Moses, caught by McMahon. There's a little bit of a history between those two players. A couple of years ago, a tackle by Moses on McMahon put McMahon out for the rest of the season, but this time McMahon is booked as the guilty man for a late tackle on Moses. Moran. Stapleton. Here's Koppel. It was struck cleanly. Jim Arnold had got the angles worked out. United moving forward with greater momentum this time. Stapleton's pass, Gary Stevens was in trouble. And Koppel on the half volley, real meat in the shot. Time for Higgins. It's led to a throw for United. Right side. Bailey has to play it behind. As Moses was arriving on the far post. Things have gone better for United in the latter stages of the first half. Koppel, and Koppel again. Well, Everton stood firm, but only just, and thanks to Graham Sharp, who threw himself into the path of Koppel's second effort. Koppel left to reflect. He was perhaps fortunate that the ball came back to him. So a highly charged first half, very much in keeping with the occasion. Adrian Heath will look back on a missed chance midway through the half, set up for him by Alan Irvine, but overall plenty for Everton to be pleased with. Half-time, it's Manchester United 0, Everton 0. In Manchester United's renowned history, they've only ever lost one FA Cup quarter-final at home. Oddly enough, that was to Everton back in 1969. When Joe Royle got the winning goal. Here's Duxbury for United. Moses. The feet were high by Duxbury. United will have drawn greater satisfaction from the second part of their first half performance. Certainly the opening 20 minutes or so belonged to Everton. Wilkins. Well, it dropped, I think, off McQueen for Sheedy. Heath, beautifully set up by Everton, and Sharp couldn't provide the finale. Hardly have been more incisive. Once the ball had gone to Kevin Sheedy, I think initially off the head of McQueen. Instant response from Sheedy, then from Heath, and then from Sharp, but it was off target. Ball pinned into a corner that Moses frees him from. Delightfully done. They'd left Murin in the middle, but Arnold made sure that the ball didn't reach him. Very much in the United style. One Scott into the back of another. Alveston fouling Irvine. Half an hour left. Manchester United 0, Everton 0. But here's Heath. And Bailey had to make the save. It looked from this angle as though it might have bounced in by that far post. Everton with a direct prong forward again. And Gary Bailey with a sharp save from Heath. White side with a clearing header, only as far as Sheedy. McQueen can only guide it down for Heath. Alveston, Moran rather, in the end, played it back in a crowded area. Duxbury prepared to use his pace against Sheedy. Koppel. McQueen has stayed forward. And Muren looks for him. Stapleton, McQueen, Whiteside! Well, that was a sensational save from Jim Arnold. A painful one too. McQueen had the first shot, but it deflected right into the path of Whiteside, who hit it really firmly. Somehow Arnold got across to make the save. Stapleton against Stevens. Moran, who come from nowhere. Wilkins. And Higgins has to put it behind because Arnold was struggling for a second. And the goalkeeper appreciative of the efforts of his captain. A buccaneering finish from Manchester United. Everton at the moment hanging on. Heath wriggling free. And Ratcliffe with boundless energy. Sensing possibilities on the counter-attack, and it was McMahon too who arrived in the middle. Here's Ratcliffe again. McMahon. Well, it's a fine example there of the Everton philosophy. When they were under the collar, they were prepared to try and break to snatch a winner. And surely a winner it would be at this stage of the game. Alveston. Bailey dispossessed by Koppel. Arnold staggers under the weight of the effort again, but again has kept his goal intact. John Bailey will look back with some relief on this error here. It was caught by Koppel, but Arnold saved the day again. This time look to use up some time within the laws of the game. And that reflects the Manchester United viewpoint. Time is running out in terms of ground advantage anyway. The answer might well have been for Gordon McQueen. 5 fingers raised in the air from the bench to indicate the 5 minutes that are left. Heath responsible for bringing down Wilkins. Although it has been a physical cup tie, it's only on the odd occasion that matters have got out of hand. McQueen. Stapleton. Is there a gap? As he searches for one. Whiteside! Well, Jim Arnold has written his luck as well. But it's turning out to be a virtuoso performance from the Everton goalkeeper. Stapleton probed away, Whiteside got a touch, and somehow Arnold was in the right spot. McQueen. This is Stapleton. Alveston has stolen into the near post. Wilkins. Stapleton. Now, the referee certainly thought considered before he gave his verdict. The verdict is a free kick right on the edge. A nudge by Stevens on Stapleton. Times of great stress these for Everton. Koppel. McQueen. This time Arnold's problems were his teammates around him. And United want to make a substitution. Into injury time. Ron Atkinson calls off Duxbury. So Macari asked to go on for what can only be a few seconds to use his goal instincts to some effect. It's Macari who jumps in the middle of the pack. Moran. Steve McMahon managed to block the shot. Augustin. Here's Macari again for Stapleton. It's one from the books of fairy tales. We've had 2 minutes of injury time, and the fairy tale aspect comes from Macari. It was his header there, and Stapleton's volley. The man who can do nothing wrong in terms of Manchester at the moment, Frank Stapleton, the hero of 2 Manchester derbies this season. He's taken United, surely, into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. They could have left it no later. Heath. The referee checks again at the watch. Frank Stapleton has taken Manchester United a step near a second final this season. In the most dramatic of circumstances, Stapleton responding to Lou Macari's header. Macari only coming on in injury time, and with 2 minutes of injury time played, the pair of them constructed the only goal of the game. Ron Atkinson asking his players to go out and take a final salute. And Everton, after a gallant effort, are left once more with thoughts of what might have been. The final score at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 1, Everton 0.
Well, what a breathtaking finish. And surely the most effective substitution of all time. I certainly can't remember a player coming on in injury time and then setting up the winner in a cup tie of this importance. So a masterstroke by the Manchester United manager, Ron Atkinson.
Ron, can you tell us the thinking at the substitution?
Well, we didn't want to go to Goodison for a start on Tuesday. We didn't much relish the thought of that. And we also felt that, like, little Louis hasn't been playing a lot, and we thought a minute and a half, that's just about his time at the moment. He's laid in the dressing room now, absolutely exhausted. But it was a gamble. I just ran on, I saw Mickey Duxbury there. If it had been Gary Bailey, I would have pulled him off. Whoever was nearest had to come off to get Louis into the penalty box.
I was hoping for the 9 card to be brought out, actually.
I don't think there's too much.
No.
The one fella that wasn't going to come off was Frank. From our point of view, I was just saying in the dressing room, once Frank hit it, it seemed to go past the keeper, and then, quite honestly, from my point of view, it seemed to take about 15 minutes to finish up in the back of the net.
Augustin. Here's Macari again for Stapleton.
Well, just one additional line about Manchester United defender Kevin Moran. He's got a suspected fractured cheekbone after a collision with Adrian Heath, and he's due to have an X-ray tomorrow. Well, coming next, Jim Rosenthal talks to 2 Arsenal Cup heroes against Aston Villa, John Hollins and Vladimir Petrovic. And then there's more cup tie action and controversy as Brighton face Norwich, and that's coming your way, of course, on the big match. Welcome back. In a moment, Brighton against Norwich, but first, let's have some news from Jim.
Well, London seems determined to hang on to the FA Cup that's been in the capital for the past 4 years. I was at Highbury for Arsenal's very impressive 2-0 victory over a disappointing Aston Villa. Both goals in a 5-minute spell around the half hour. Tony Woodcock volleyed the first after fine work by Kenny Sansom. And Vladimir Petrovic, included instead of Brian Talbot, hit the second off the post, justifying the faith of manager Terry Neal and revelling in the moment after a trying few weeks. And Petrovic, in very broken English, still manages to convey just what his first FA Cup goal means to him.
I'm very happy. Big match, big goal. I happy, normally.
Vladdy, what have been the problems for you adapting to English football?
Yes, small problem. I know good speak English. No communication match player.
During the game?
Yes, yes. One player calm, two player calm. I know.
Now Arsenal are in the semi-finals and one step closer to Wembley for you.
Yes, that's my
Dream?
dream play on Wembley.
Everyone here is asking, is John Hollins going to be around even in the semi-finals?
Well, everybody keeps saying to me what's happening. I had a meeting postponed with Colchester because the people were ill, and now I'm going to meet them, or phone call Sunday or Monday, to try and see what's on offer. And future has got to come first. I look at all opportunities. It might be an opportunity for me to go into management. If it's not the one that I want, then, well, we'll see what Monday or Sunday or Monday brings.
But what you're saying is that if Colchester say, join us as manager, and the terms are right, you'd forsake a semi-final possibly at Wembley Place?
We'll see what they've got to say first.
Well, a tough decision there for John Hollins, but Arsenal comfortably through to Monday's semi-final draw. As for Burnley and Sheffield Wednesday, they've got to replay on Tuesday at Hillsborough after the 1-1 draw at Turf Moor. And really, Burnley kicking themselves tonight. They missed a penalty and felt they should have been 3 up by half-time. Instead, Gary Bannister put Wednesday in front. Tommy Cassidy got the equaliser, but a blow for Wednesday. Gary Bannister's got a head injury and he's very doubtful for that replay. In the league, Liverpool and Watford stretched their lead at the top. Liverpool beat West Ham by 3-0. Watford involved in a real thriller. They beat Notts County 5-3 at Vicarage Road with a hat-trick for Luther Blissett. And Notts County's John Chidozie, once of Orient, sent off in that one. Forest, they were beaten 1-0 at home by Luton Town. Ricky Hill, the scorer there, and that really is a great result for David Pleat's team. It's been Cup Day as well up in Scotland. The holders Aberdeen go through to Monday's semi-final draw, along with Rangers, St Mirren and Celtic, and they beat Hearts 4-1. And in that tie, Willie Johnson seems to have been up to his old tricks. The former Scottish international was sent off for the 19th time in his professional career. And I would think that's got to be some sort of record. Brian.
Not one to be happy about. Now let's move on to our second match in the 6th round of the FA Cup, a day when Brighton and Norwich could both put their relegation worries behind them, a capacity crowd of 28,000 at the Goldstone Ground. Now the pictures come from TVS, and now our commentator is Gerald Sinstadt.
Norwich City move through the shadow, out into the sunshine of the Goldstone Ground. And down from East Anglia, a great mass of green and yellow-clad supporters of the Canaries. Tense moments in the tunnel as Brighton step into uncharted territory. Outside, a boisterous greeting for their first ever appearance in the 6th round of the FA Cup. Brighton have had the easier time with team selection. Their only doubt during the week has been the substitutes role, and that goes on the day to Scotsman Gordon Smith. Norwich have problems. Steve Walford suspended, Olga Haraider and Martin O'Neill both injured. So it's a very young lineup today, average age only 22. And a lot on the shoulders of Dick Simons, recalled last Saturday for his first game since last May. Nice short journey from Waterlooville in Hampshire for today's referee, Mr. Alan Robinson. And he welcomes that because he's just come back from 3 weeks in Kenya where he's been lecturing to referees. last kick of this sixth-round FA Cup tie to Brighton. They're in their all-blue strip. Norwich in yellow and green, and the first free kick of the game to Brighton. Seventh time the clubs have been drawn together in the FA Cup, and the records show 4 victories for Brighton and 2 for Norwich. So although on a couple of occasions they needed a replay. Here's Foster going in. Coming in behind him was Ritchie, but it didn't reach either of them. Put out for a corner. 10 there is Jerry Ryan. Looking for Foster's head. Smiley couldn't swivel on it, but still Norwich can't get out of their own half. Now comes the possibility. Birchin going through the middle as the ball is played in by Mendham. Played further on for Van Wyk. Smiley has gone with it. Downs. Norwich ball. Shaping for a long one. Instead to Downs. Chance to cross with the right foot, and it was a missed kick and cleared by Case. Free kick given, and Greg Downs is going to take it. Birchin. 2 in the middle. And a header out by Steve Gatting when Barham was coming in behind him at the far post. Corner being taken by Dave Bennett. Mass of players on the near post, and the corner wasted, drifting behind the crossbar as Mosley came flying across his goal. Graham Mosley, the 3rd time this season that he's regained the goalkeeping jersey from Perry Digweed. Unmistakable figure of Steve Foster. It's Brighton 0, Norwich 0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup at the Goldstone Ground. And we have another free kick for offside. Robinson. It's not a bad ball. Tested Woods. He had to come out of his area, and he's still in trouble. He was tempted twice to go for that with his hands. And when he eventually got it away for the long clearance upfield, it was yet another offside. Woods tempted to come for it. Eventually got in a header, thought about catching it, remembered he was out of his area, and eventually got it away. Grealish. Stevens crossing, and Foster! Oh, what a brilliant stop! That was Watson, and that was the best incident of the game so far. Wonderful clearance off the line. Really looked as though Foster had got it. Stevens cross, and then off the line, and it was Dion who cleared it. Corner kick is the outcome. Superb bit of covering back by the number 9. Another good clearance when Norwich were in trouble. Barham. Van Wyk losing out to Smiley, who loses it in his turn, and that was played by a Brighton player, and here's Birchin through. Stopped by Mosley. Got too close to the goalkeeper and gave Mosley a chance, and that really should have been put away. Credit to Mosley, who had a very difficult job to do then. He had a long way to come off his line, and Birchin should have been able to slip him. So we've got a free kick, but a narrow escape now at each end in quick succession. Mosley comes and doesn't meet it, and again Birchin misses, that time by inches. Free kick played. Birchin up well. And that was close. Keith Birchin, 10 goals this season. Tremendous enthusiasm. Great battler. Robinson. Ritchie. Simons. And there is the half-time whistle. Chances at both ends. Keith Birchin will certainly be wondering about the one he missed. Steve Foster in the number 5 shirt will be ruining that brilliant clearance by John Dean that robbed him of a goal. So, although we've had excitement, we've also had tension, we've had a lot of stoppages. 29 free kicks in the first half tell their own story. When you add in the goal kicks and the throw-ins, it's not entirely surprising that there's not been a great deal of pattern. But at the moment, both sides still cling to dreams of a place in the semi-final. At half-time, Brighton 0, Norwich. Away we go then for the second half with the score sheet still blank. And a game between two very old rivals. Brighton, in fact, have played Norwich City more often than they've played any other club. They're rivals going back to Southern League days. Watson's header came through to Dean. Now it's Birchin. Norwich are going to make a substitution just in the corner of the picture there. You saw Van Wyk go off and Mick Maguire comes on in his place. Maguire kept out by Peter Mendham's form. Last appearance in the first team was against Nottingham Forest nearly 3 months ago. It's Downs. And Birchin's been in the action a lot. Norwich are going to make a substitution just in the corner of the picture there. You saw Van Wyk go off and Mick Maguire comes on in his place. Maguire kept out by Peter Mendham's form. Last appearance in the first team was against Nottingham Forest nearly 3 months ago. It's Downs. And Birchin's been in the action a lot. Gatting wins the throw. Case. Now Ritchie, challenged by Watson. Foster. Ramsey. Foster has gone down holding his head after a collision with Birchin. It's like a cut that Steve Foster has suffered. Be very surprised if he goes off. He's not that kind of player. Mike Yaxley, the Brighton physio, having a look at it. He's got something of mixed feelings about this game, Mike Yaxley, because he was born and brought up in Norwich. You can see the collision that caused the cut. Yes, Foster caused his own problem. It's the follow-through as he headed away. He's a tough lad. Now Downs. Dean, good shot and a good save. And then Bowen, then off the line, and again. Now Downs. Brighton were lucky to escape there. Mosley using hands and legs, and then support behind him when it looked as though Norwich were bound to score. So that's both teams who've had a clearance off the line in that goal mouth. Norwich in the first half, now Brighton. Mosley didn't get the punch, but I think Foster got the header. Downs in, Foster clears. Well, this gives us a chance to have a look again at that escape that Brighton had a minute or two ago. Dean bearing in, Mosley making a good save, and his feet hook it out of the way of Birchin. Barham's shot, and a clearance off the line. Not sure whether it was Stevens or Gatting, but I think it was Gatting. Stevens. Case, can he get through here? Ref did that. No! Will it count? The referee has given it, and the linesman has taken down his flag. Dean is pointing at the linesman, who raised his flag and then took it down. The linesman put his flag up and then took it down, and the referee has come to have a word with him now. The goal stands. I suspect that what the linesman flagged for was for a foul on Case. And so the advantage was applied and the goal stands. Header on by Robinson. Case now going through. Linesman thought there was a foul there. Referee let him go and the goal counts. Brighton 1, Norwich 0. And this is something that Brighton has never savoured. Barham for Birchin's head, but it was Stevens who cleared. Now it's Downs. That was a good shot, and it was a good save too, because the ball swerved a lot in the air. And Mosley did very well to hold that. Set up here for Greg Downs. Left foot swinging, and a good save. Gatting, Grealish, Smiley, shot hit Downs. Grealish again, but there'll be no more. Brighton have won. Jimmy Melia and George Aiken embrace, and for the first time in their history, Brighton go to the semi-final of the FA Cup. It was a touch of Merseyside magic, the management of Jimmy Melia and the finishing of Jimmy Case that did the trick. Brighton 1, Norwich City 0.
So smiles on the south coast to match the sunshine, and why not? The first time in their history, Brighton in the semi-finals. And what a contrast in the Norwich camp. They felt the Brighton winner should not have been allowed, and Ken Brown, usually the most cheerful of men, was the man to make that point on behalf of his team.
Very, very disappointed. Very disappointed in the way the goal was conceded. I thought we were conned out of it by an old pro, if you like, in Jimmy Case.
Well, we can show you the goal again,
Yeah.
and you can perhaps tell us what you mean here.
Well, as the ball's headed on there now, from there, our fellow's got the ball. I know he's pulled him back. He's literally pulled him back to get the ball.
Did
And
you
we
think,
thought
in
we
fact,
should
that
have had a foul.
there was contact then when he tried to make the tackle?
Who? With who?
Your
What?
defender?
What if it was? Then it was a foul.
Yeah.
And that's perhaps what the linesman's done it for. So it should have blown it one way or the other. But in our view, he's pulled our player back.
Did the referee say anything to the players by way of explanation?
No, I don't think he has to, does he? I think he's just gone ahead and gave the goal. He's allowed it. I asked him afterwards, and he said, no, it was a perfectly good goal. That was it.
Our last word tonight reflects that last dramatic instruction at Old Trafford this afternoon. Lou Macari flung on as a substitute for Manchester United 2 minutes into injury time. As a matter of interest, it was precisely 36 seconds from the moment he went on to the moment he set up that winner for Frank Stapleton. A little bit of FA Cup history from us all. Good night.
Here's Macari again for Stapleton.